Hi guys, hope you've had a fantastic week. I've had a pretty busy one and I'm going to jump around a little bit showing you what I've been up to. I was down in Worthing for a large part of it, for the Worthing project. If you don't know about that project, I'll leave a link up here. It's a project I've been commissioned to write by the Worthing Philharmonic Orchestra for 3 choirs and orchestra, which is going to be done in March. Right, so the story starts on Tuesday night. It was already dark by the time I got there, so it's a little bit grainy, this footage, but yeah, let's check it out anyway. I have never vlogged at night time, and I've no idea how this is going to look. It might look terrible, apologies, but it's November, so we're going to have to get used to it. Tonight I'm at a rehearsal of the Worthing Choral Society, who are one of the 3 choirs who are singing in it, to remind myself where to go. So they're one of the 2 adult choirs. There's also a children's choir.
Let's go right round.
So we had a fantastic rehearsal with Aidan Kearney, who's the music director of the Worthing Choral Society, and then I saw Aidan again on the Wednesday night for a rehearsal with the Boundstone chorus, and they're the other adult choir who are performing in this piece. Had another fantastic rehearsal. In both of these rehearsals I taught the choirs a movement from this piece which is semi-aleatoric, that means indeterminate. It involves a certain amount of improvisation, of responding to the conductor's gestures by making certain sounds, and both choirs seemed to enjoy learning that. It was quite fun teaching it to them as well, and they definitely responded really well. And then on the Thursday I was at Sompting Village Primary School all day. Sompting Village Primary School Choir is the 3rd of the 3 choirs that are performing in this piece, but they're not only performing in it, I'm also doing a series of workshops in the primary school in the run-up to the piece. And the piece, as you will know if you know about this piece, is about Worthing, and all the texts in it are taken from texts that are linked to Worthing in some way. So the idea I had was to do a project with Sompting Village Primary School where the members of the choir learn a little bit about doing oral history and local history, and they get to do some interviews with their family or friends, neighbours, whoever, to learn more about where they live, and then create little musical works based out of those stories that they find out. So this workshop that I did on Thursday was an initial workshop to teach them a little bit about oral history. We did a series of exercises thinking about questions and how you ask questions and how you do follow-up questions, closed questions and open questions, that sort of thing. But we also did some music because I taught them the aleatoric gestures which are going to be used in the piece like I did for the adults. So that was my trip down to Worthing, but then on Friday I was over at Cambridge, and I haven't talked about this so much on the vlog, but one of the things you may know that I do also is that I supervise undergraduates at the University of Cambridge in music history, music theory, composition. And one thing that I wanted to say about this week, which I think is relevant to you guys potentially, is that the thing about being freelance is that you had this incredible variety. It was very striking the range of people that I got to work with this week. Both the Worthing Choral Society and the Boundstone Chorus are adult choirs, and a majority of them, I would say, are older people, some pensioners. Then on Thursday working with years 3 to 6, so that is 7 to 11-year-olds. And then on Friday mainly teaching my final year undergraduate students, so I guess a kind of early 20s. I think I'm really fortunate that I get to move between teaching and working with so many different kinds of people, and I personally feel that it really helps me do everything that I do, that I have so many different people that I work with and so many different situations. I think I was better at teaching oral history to the primary school kids because I spent a lot of my time in Cambridge teaching the undergraduates how to think about doing history there. Obviously, if you're teaching undergraduates, you have to do it in a completely different way from the way you teach primary school children, but there are some overlaps, and I think that's something which I only appreciated when I did have primary school children followed by undergraduates the next day. And I think as a composer, so much of what you're doing is about communicating with people, about working with people, that the more you can think about how you communicate with people and the more you can experience different ways and the more you can learn about communicating, the more you'll be better at putting instructions on pages and working with people and using those instructions to make music in a way which will work for them. Writing music for primary school age children to sing is obviously a different kettle of fish to writing for a professional orchestra or for writing for an amateur choral society, but none of those are completely free, even if you're writing for a professional orchestra, you're actually going to be much more kind of restricted in some ways than you are if you write for primary school, because the institutional structure of a professional orchestra. Obviously there are restrictions with all these situations, but I think personally the more you can experience working with lots of different people, the better you'll be as a composer and the more versatile you'll be as a composer. And if you want to make it in the music business nowadays, I really think being versatile is one of the most useful skills you can have. Right, that is it for this week. If you enjoyed it, then do leave a like. If you aren't subscribed, then smash the subscribe button, and I will see you next Sunday.